All right, guys, had a little after work project. Justin with California Grenadiers again. As you guys know, or if you've been following along, we've been working on getting the winch in and the GP Factor hidden winch mount delivered. Pretty much everything was here yesterday, and after talking to AJ and stuff and trying to figure out the best way to tackle this and save some time so that I'm not just doing it all in one go, I decided to break it up in steps like he suggests in the instructions, and just do all the wiring and mounting of the winch into the winch carrier separately. And let me tell you, the instructions on how to do it are exceptional. Great pictures, lots of step-by-step verbiage that really tells you what you got to do, what you need to do, when to do it. It's all very, very, very clear, step by step. And I'm telling you guys, if you follow those instructions to a T, it will make the install so quick. This, I think, took me about an hour and a half, and that was me, clearing out a spot in the garage, setting up the table, gathering my tools, putting the winch and the winch carrier on the table so that I could get everything set up. It was just me taking my time, leisurely doing it. I knocked it out in about an hour and a half, just kind of enjoying and tinkering and marveling at the engineering that has gone into the development of this thing. This thing is amazing. It's beautiful. Like I said in the previous videos, they spent a lot of time, took a lot of care and effort and everything into getting this thing right. So just kind of wanted to give you guys a little bit of a walk around of this thing while it's out of the car, with everything installed that needs to be installed to make this thing work. Because all I'm going to have to do is pull the bumper off, remove some of the factory hardware, replace it with this and some other hardware, slap the bumper back on. It should make it pretty easy. Taking stuff apart isn't too hard. Putting stuff back together and not having extra bolts is a little bit more challenging, but as long as you know where everything came from, it's pretty easy. So let's check this out here. So, you do have to unwind the line so that you can access the square nuts in the back and the mounting feet for the winch. But I went ahead and hooked up a battery to this thing and tested it to make sure all the wiring was good before I actually put it in the car, and it works flawlessly. So I was able to wind up some of the cord. I will have to pull it out again and rewrap it, make sure it's nice and tight, because you don't want it snagging on anything internally. Although it does have smooth sections everywhere. The back bracing is smooth, but you don't want it rubbing on things anyway. So basically, the step-by-step instructions are pretty clear. You start off with dropping in a lot of this stuff. So this is the solenoid. And then on the inside of this, you may not really be able to see it too well, but there's like a little control box thing, like electrical box thing that's inside there, back of there, mounts to the winch carrier in a really secure fashion. And once you get those things kind of in, then you move on to the Haas Fairlead, which is really freaking cool. This is like my favorite piece of this thing. But it has a spacer. You mount one screw from behind that just sits underneath here, and that kind of holds it in place. You thread lock it and line the holes up, and then once you got that on, then you can take the winch itself and you slide it in. The 4 bolt holes, 2 of the top ones line up with the holes on the Fairlead. All the hardware is provided. They line up right there, and it goes through, and there's little square nuts that go inside the feet. It's pretty common amongst most winches. Kind of see it there, over there in the corner down there. There's 4 of those little square nuts, and they just a notch into the feet of the winch. Makes it very easy to screw those things in. You just use a thread locker. You mount the top part. And you know, when you do this, guys, make sure that you don't crank everything down one by one. Hand tight all the bolts in. That way you can make sure everything's lined up nice and straight. And then once you do that, then you can torque these down to the recommended spec. I think these are all 63.8 NMs. Doesn't really need to be super torqued down, so don't go overboard. You don't want to ream those bolts. Last thing you know is getting those scored, and last thing you want is to get those like scored and bound up and stuff in there. Then that's going to be a bad day. Yeah. Oh, and this is part of it, part of the electrical. This is the remote connector. Oh, and there's this little button. This is a power button. I didn't even know that it had a power button. That's pretty freaking cool. So this also gets threaded in there. The holes are proprietary for that. Before you get the winch in, you do these. It's really straightforward. They just bolt on, and then you plug in everything before you put the winch on. Use some dielectric grease. Pretty cool. It comes with like these little boots that cover the wires for a little bit more waterproofing. He even goes into detail of which wires to route and when, and on top of or under or side, whatever, because the space is very tight. The wiring is really good. It's just like perfect to fit in here. Everything's really well thought out. Everything just fits like a glove. Ace Ventura reference. So yeah, I mean, this thing is awesome. The lever here just goes right there to disengage and engage. Like, I mean, it fits perfectly. I heard, AJ mentioned something that they may change this at some point. I don't have an issue with it. I think it's pretty cool. Maybe if they made it like some kick-ass billet or something, maybe, but I mean, it's not really necessary. But fits really good. They did provide the license plate mount. I did put the bolts in, and it comes with some little twist-on knobs to be able to put that on, take it off. I like that feature, but I typically don't run front license plates on my car, even though I've gotten two or three tickets for no front license plate. To fix a ticket, I mean, it would be nice to have those there, but I wasn't really like a super fan of what it looked like with just the bolts sticking out, and like I tried putting on the twist knobs. I didn't really like how that looked, because I like running without a front license plate. But I think it's easy enough to get in there. I mean, I could probably get a bolt in there or like a nut or something if I needed to mount that for some reason, if a cop gave me a ticket. But I mean, I've got some cop friends too that'll just sign the ticket off anyway, so not really too concerned about it. I'd rather just kind of show off this hardware. I mean, imagine what that looks like at the front of the vehicle. It's pretty freaking sexy. So yeah, you can see here it has the opening here, so you can visualize the rope. You can get your hand in there, make sure everything's straight, nothing's bound up. I mean, this thing is pretty slick. See, everything's like already pre-wired since I hooked everything up outside of the car. I couldn't imagine trying to do this while it was in the car. Like, you know, like you might have space once it's mounted, but trying to have to get your hands in here and move things and line up the connections with the bolt holes and not stripping anything. I mean, it's way better to just do it outside of the car, guys. Look, check out the welds, pretty clean here, you know, all the notching. Like, this is solid. Laser cut. I mean, this thing's pretty precision. So yeah, pretty stoked, pretty excited. It was a fun little after work project. I'm excited to get it into the car this weekend. I'm probably going to do it on Saturday, but may end up doing it sooner than that. I'm pretty impatient when it comes to these kinds of things. I'm like a kid in a candy store, or Christmas, whatever your analogy is that you want to use. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. It's a fun project, definitely going to be very useful on trails. Let me know what your guys' plans are. If you guys are considering this setup, how you plan on doing it. And hope you found this this video of these series of videos helpful. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, or ask any questions. Let me know if you guys have anything you want to know about this setup or anything, and I'd be happy to share what I know about it. All right, guys, thanks for watching.